Manchester by the Sea, the 2016 film directed by, I had his name in my head.
I
I
have no
completely
clue
forgot
actually
it.
who directed
Kenneth
it.
Lonergan. I don't really know if I know any of his other films, at least by his name.
Was he even a big
This is,
director for this?
I don't know. They won an Oscar. They won two
Well, I
Oscars for
guess he
this.
is now. Yeah. Oh,
He
he
is
won two.
now. They won two. They won Best Original Screenplay, and Casey Affleck won Best Actor.
Best actor.
Straight up, like I loved this movie. It's pretty. I don't know if I would say it's a bummer. It's a sad movie, but I don't really leave this movie feeling sad or bummed out or whatever.
You know, you said that like leading up to it, you said that it was like gonna be like a bummer, kind of like your impression of it.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
I didn't think that.
Well, I don't think you ever watched it. Did you before this, Sam?
No.
Yeah, so that's think is just what he heard.
I didn't know this movie was gonna be as funny as it was too. This movie's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
funny. For like obviously like intentional funny moments, but also like pretty dark humor.
It definitely
moments.
has dark
Yeah.
humor.
You could like almost, if there were a couple more jokes, you could call this movie a black comedy. Like there are that many like moments that are like intentionally unintentionally funny.
And legitimately like kind of soul crushing too. But we'll get into
There's
that.
a lot of
We'll get into it. I think that's a good that we'll bring that up later, John. I think it's a pretty central part of this movie and how I felt about it.
I really like this movie. I think it's a beautiful movie for one. I think like there's a lot of they just show off Boston a lot in the movie, which I think is really cool. Like a city that I don't think they show. I mean, it's not actual Boston, is it? Like I think
Manchester
it's somewhere
by
else.
the sea.
But
This is the suburb.
the area around Boston, and that it is beautiful. Even though it's like it's cold and snowing, which is I think important to this movie because I don't know if really in our culture that's considered like to have a lot to do with death, but in a lot of other cultures it is. So it's an interesting filmmaking choice to show that a lot.
Well, for me, it was like a lot of familiarity too. Like it felt.
Because we're Northeast.
Yeah, it felt all those settings felt like.
Dude,
Yeah,
the
very
houses,
familiar.
bro, that is a Northeastern house if I've ever seen it, dude. Central heating, bro. I like the music. I like the acting. I can't think of many complaints I have with it. But to say on this watch, also I thought because I've heard a lot about, I've seen a lot of scenes, but I never sat down and watched it all the way through myself. Definitely, it was really fucking sad. Don't get me wrong. But it was a lot more. I don't want to say upbeat because it's not upbeat, but like it's definitely a positive message, but more just like see it through kind of idea. Like,
Yeah, there's
Does that
a bit
make
of a
sense?
silver lining in the movie, and
Stick
it's
it
not
out,
so
kind of,
subtle.
or-
Yeah,
it's not gonna baby you, but it's not also just like fucking dark depression. This sucks.
I will
Everything
say,
sucks.
this movie, if of any movie that I've seen, and I don't watch a ton of movies about grief, but this is the
Mhm.
most realistic depiction of what it's like to grieve in
Sure,
any
yeah.
movie I've ever seen.
I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of talking about that today because I think like that's the
This is just
core
the
of the movie.
this was just the realest
obviously.
movie like that I feel like we've watched on this podcast. Just all of the emotions.
I
that
think it
were
was a
going
very
Yeah.
honest human experience.
and the way
Yeah.
they just like
Yeah.
the characters talk to each other was just like
Everybody,
yeah.
that's exactly
everybody's
what
an
happened.
asshole.
So many people are unintentionally rude to each other, like a large part of this movie is, especially with Lee's character, is him either not seeing their intentions or his intentions coming across wrong, or just him being a straight up dick because he's upset. Like it's a lot of miscommunication, and I mean shit that just won't ever be fixed, like shit that just can't be healed. Like there's not ever coming, not I don't want to say not ever coming back from that, but not ever leaving
be the
that
same.
behind. Yeah, you're
There's
never
no running from it.
it's never gonna leave you at all. Like it's gonna be a part of your life forever.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a situation that isn't talked a lot. Like, because a lot of movies would go for there's always something after, you know what I mean? Or you'll get past it, but that's not always what happens in real life. That's not what
Yeah.
happens in real life.
Yeah,
Like, you're gonna
usually-
remember.
Usually, it's part of the like growth of the character in movies to
To
get
move
over
past
what they
it.
were grieving about.
Yeah.
This is a good job of like, while Lee can go on day to day, it's still
He'll
like, a
never
part
be the same.
Every single day he thinks about everything
Yeah.
that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important too that it's also, I don't think it straight up says that he couldn't, but he's definitely not there. I think
he's
a
not
lot.
there.
He literally
Yeah.
straight up says, "I can't do it." The
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I
once
can't
again,
beat it.
I think he says that, but I don't think the movie itself is saying that could never happen. I think that's where he's at right now. Obviously, he's not gonna. I think when he says that, he's more saying like it's not happening right now. Like, which I think is a lot of the crux to the movie for me is the maturity of him being able to say I can't handle this right now. Like because he clearly wants to.
Well, because like that's where it's interesting too, because like you have like the two like the dichotomy of like him and
Patty,
no, his wife.
His wife. What is her name? Diane. Randy.
Yeah, like we see.
I was guessing.
We see how like Lee, like obviously hasn't been able to cope.
Shitty name.
Lee's a good name.
Randy.
Oh,
Randy. Randy's a shitty name. Randy. Just thinking about it, bro.
Well, like we see how Lee isn't really able to move on, and we see that very clearly. And then whenever Randy's reintroduced, it's like like, oh, I remarried, I'm having a baby, and like it seems as though she's
moved
doing
on
well, but by the end we realize no, not at all.
I thought the best scene of the whole movie was when Randy and Lee are talking in like the random conversation on the street, and it just felt like
I think that's a lot of people's favorite scene.
It was mine.
That's the most realistic scene.
It was pretty great.
When somebody is talking about something that clearly the other person doesn't want to talk about, and he keeps trying to leave, but he doesn't know how to.
Yeah, and she's like apologetic of apparently whatever she said to him after, which you can only imagine. Like,
man, she's lucky he didn't lose his shit.
Well,
lucky he didn't have some malt liquor.
I think it's important that he probably needed to hear that, because I think up to that point he saw it, like John said, that she was doing just fine, and he was the only one dealing with it all. Yeah. And it's important for him to realize that that's not true, and I think that makes him more like understanding of the fact in himself that like I'm never gonna get over this. I think that's what gets him to that point that like, oh, I'm gonna live with this forever. Like
he has like this, I don't know what to call it, but he's like unable to forgive himself. So I think hearing it from somebody else, especially
it's really powerful, especially his wife.
That's very important for him to move on,
especially like with
ex-wife.
With what she had said to him, kind of slipping through at one point where she's like
well, we don't see it, do we?
No, she says like, I don't want you to die, like in the middle.
That's really sad.
I'll echo a lot of the things you guys said about how just grounded in reality this movie is. I don't know if I have anything unique to say about my experience, other than I will say you guys said that this movie wasn't sad. At the end, you didn't leave it with a sad feeling, I guess. But I would have to disagree with that, because I think this movie genuinely stuck with me for like 2 days and like ruined my mood.
Oh, wow.
I was like sitting at work. I was like, "Fuck, man, poor guy."
Oh my god,
poor Lee, dude.
But poor Cole. Poor Cole.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think
that's a good thing. I think.
Yeah, that just speaks to how effective it was to displaying how that type of thing would affect a person, and I don't want to say leave him empty, but turn you in kind of a shell of what you used to be.
Mm-hmm. I do think it's important, like you said, that he'll never, like, he is a completely new person. I mean, Shell probably is the best description of who he is right now.
Yeah, because he's so averse
as of
to
now,
like, anything at all. He's like, no, I don't really want to do that. No.
Well, that's the thing too, is he's so at this point resistant to anything. He's resistant to any change, and I think that by the end is him at least starting to accept some change.
Yeah, very small change with getting the apartment with the extra spare room for Patrick,
Well, that's why I love the decision for him not to take Patrick in the end, because he couldn't do it. And he's right. And I think that's such an important, I think that's the real lesson he learns throughout it, because in the beginning he's so young, he's just like, and it's such a stupid mistake, something so dumb, but that same thing could happen again if he's not ready to be a parent. You know what I mean? And that's why he's accepting the fact that it's not responsible for me to do this.
Yeah, and I think when he burned the sauce was kind of like the parallel to like when
I think it was the fight. Yeah. Maybe the sauce. No, you're probably right, because I forgot about the daughter. thing and everything.
I have a question. Why, when he went to go get the job at like the boat place, why did the lady say like, "I never want to see
That was
him"?
a weird
here again?
scene.
Probably
She's a bitch. That's why.
Probably
She helps him later. That's why it's kind of goofy.
Because he was the talk of drama for however long.
I-
in
there's
that
a-
small
guy.
town.
there is a
It
lot
was-
of resentment
There,
towards
no,
him in the
here
town.
is my only problem with that, guys. I agree with you. I get that message completely. But then, like, a couple scenes later, you find out it was that other dude's wife. So she knew the whole time it wasn't like he did it on purpose or anything. So she was just a weird character to do that. You know what I mean? It
Is
was
that
just
part
a
of the
weird...
reason why he doesn't want to live there? Because like,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I,
yeah.
I didn't think
Everybody
of
knows.
Well, it definitely seems like a big deal that he doesn't want to run into more than anything. He doesn't want to run into his ex-wife,
Randy.
Randy.
Yeah.
That seems like a big thing to him, and obviously that happens consistently throughout the movie. He has to keep running into her.
His ex-wife, the dysfunctional, his brother's relationship was dysfunctional too. She was an alcoholic the whole time. So they just had a whole
He
dysfunctional
sucks.
family in general.
Yeah.
And then you add on the fact that, years later, you can tell everyone's still talking about it. Even the high school kids, the high school hockey team goes, that's
Yeah, the
Lee
rumors.
Chandler.
And how people think he like did it on purpose and shit. Like the rumors have changed it and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's
he
exactly
keeps-
what happens in a small town.
He keeps fighting people too. Like I'm sure.
He's not helping himself. He's not helping himself at all. He's like, "Oh, you looking at me? What the fuck you looking at me, dude?"
Right,
He's
he
like,
was
"What
the
are
one
you
that
looking
bumped
at
the dude at the end, and then he fought. Like, come on, dude, chill.
Yeah. Come
No, he goes. He literally goes, "No problem, buddy," and then punches him in the face. And bang. Because he wasn't mad at him. He was just mad at himself, dude. That was the truth. He just he wanted to get beat up. He has self-destructive tendencies right now.
I was gonna say he has like this need. I mean, obviously, like,
He has a
in the
need to
police
punish
station
himself,
scene,
and no one
yeah,
else wants to punish him.
He feels like he deserves to be punished, and he kind of doesn't get that.
It's that feeling that, and it sucks. Like I can imagine it, where you did something wrong. It was an accident, and everyone's just. It's like a pity for you, like that, and it makes you feel like terrible about yourself because it's like just tell me I fucked up.
It's like that police the police captain says, like, it's not a crime to forget to put your fireplace or the guard on your fireplace. I'm sorry, you're free to go.
See, well, my one thing about that was like, I get it. That's probably because they know him. I was like, is it technically like would that? I feel like that would
No, I
actually.
don't think
And
so.
you-
It's a tragic accident.
I think
Burn down your house.
I think it might be considered like neglect or like.
He said if forensics
yeah.
bails you out, which it probably
Yeah.
will. So I think they kind of like rule.
He would at least have been in jail a little longer.
Like,
I feel like, but they know him. But they
reckless
know him.
endangerment or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I
Yeah,
feel like they
maybe.
would at least try to get him for. Would he get out of it? Probably, but he would have been in jail a couple nights for sure, just for that without bail.
Neglect.
Yeah, neglect or whatever. Especially because he was drunk, they would definitely make him go to court for that.
And there's
No,
kids
and
in
that
there.
is a fair point.
Once again, it's a small town. He knows the cops, so they
I think-
probably just
I
let
think
him
that's a
out.
good point.
I don't know how you guys said this didn't feel like a dark movie really or anything, because this movie was just pure pain for me. With the experience of grief in my own life, I don't know, it felt very extremely relatable.
I also didn't feel like it was like inherently like a sad experience, and maybe that's just because the ending.
I feel like this
Isn't
argument
sad.
though, has gotten weird because it's not that I don't think it's sad.
Yeah,
I want to
maybe-
say that I was really sad watching this movie.
No. There were moments that was very sad, but I didn't leave the movie feeling sad. Which
I feel like it was kinda
maybe there's
positive.
no difference. I don't know.
No, I mean there is a difference. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
I don't think this movie tries
I did
to
it- I
make
did
you
really
feel
enjoy it.
sad. Like, I don't think it's the point of the movie. Is to
It's not like sad
Not to
bait,
feel sad, but it's
Yeah.
a very realistic sad story. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not just sad for no reason.
Yeah,
like, the
'cause,
sad
like,
things serve a purpose.
because
Yeah.
that kind of ties into like the the presentation of it, because aside from several moments throughout where there is music, a lot of the time there is just no music
It's very
at
silent.
all. No, like a lot of silence and like a lot of hard cuts too, like in between shots. Like scenes just kind of end. Like even like sometimes it bothered me a little bit where it would just kind of end like in the middle of like a character doing something. Like it was so abrupt, but like that was obviously very intentional.
Some of the flashbacks were hard for me to tell when it went back in time, because it's kind of funny because Casey Affleck, to make him look older, they just gave him a beard, and to make him look younger, they got rid of the beard. So it was like sometimes you're like, is he like he just looks 20 with the beard? You know, like what am I supposed to fucking know?
The only thing that confused me was the very beginning, the whole hospital scene. I thought they were talking about his dad dying and not his brother. Until
I think
they
that's
pulled the body
intentional.
bag.
I think that's intentional.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think they want you to think his dad died. But I do think they mentioned something about his dad being gone already, just like subtly.
Both of their parents are dead. You can tell it at the end with the gravestone. You see their names on it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to... No. I mean, before that, though, even when you... Like, he's talking about that opening hospital scene. I think you're supposed to go into that thinking it's the dad, and then it reveals it was actually his brother, which is supposed to be sadder. Because, you know, like, that sucks.
Could you
I think they
imagine,
just left it up as mystery in the beginning there, but I could be wrong.
could you imagine getting, like, the worst news of your life, like, being the brother, being like, oh, shit, I have this terminal, you know, disease, whatever, and then your wife just leaves and is like, this doctor is being annoying, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
That was actually a very funny scene where he's like, so what is this?
Well,
like,
they were
is this
being
a good,
dickheads, you
a
know,
good
they were-
disease? She's like, well, it's not fucking. What does she compare it to? I can't remember the line she says.
What
It's not a good disease.
It is funny, though. I laughed a lot in
Yeah.
that scene.
She's
She's like, yeah, he's like, will you shut the fuck up and let the nurse talk?
Was she fucking doing stand up?
They weren't being, like, blatantly disrespectful. They were just trying to, like, you know.
But
Yeah, like, what are you
not
gonna do? Like,
not everyone reacts
not
like
all
that
about
in that
you.
situation, though. So, like, I know people
Yeah.
would be frustrated because they want to take it more serious. So,
But she's married to him. She knows them. She knows, like, their humor
well,
and
the
stuff.
point.
like-
Well,
Even
I
so.
my son
think,
said, "Fuck
I
her." I
think-
related to that. Fuck
I
her.
think that's
Yeah,
the point
Shit. You said
in this movie, though, is like shit just don't work out sometimes. Like, they were young, they got married, they probably thought they were gonna work out, and they didn't. You know, like same thing. It's kind of the same thing that happened to him, but obviously way worse. You know, like, but it's clearly worse. And the brother, dude, is actually one of the best. Everyone loves the brother throughout the movie. It is funny that how differently they talk about him compared to the brother. When
I was curious how, like, do you think that the brother saw him taking care of saw Lee taking care of Patrick as like a way for Lee to get over like what he did?
I
Do
think
you think that's why he left him?
I think he left him as a way of like, now you can't just leave. You can't go kill yourself. You know, I think that was intentionally what it was. Is like, I'm putting this on you, so like you have.
Who
something.
else would he give this?
I
up
think
to?
so. I would like to get into. Well, he had George and other people. I forget who he had. The mom and everything. He knew.
He does
were
not want to
healthy
give
and
him to the mom.
I don't think he did, but I'm saying he had other options that he could have did. But it definitely seems like he knew that Lee was distancing himself and trying to wait for the right time to just give up and, you know, move on. Especially once his brother was gone. You know, like so that was his way of like calling him back and being like, you gotta build these connections and that's what I feel like is at the end is it's at least starting to happen. Like that's why I love the last scene. I would actually like to compare the first scene and the last scene, where the first scene begins with them on the boat hanging out together, and you can see Lee being happy. But what are they talking about in that scene? Do you remember?
Oh, they're talking about sharks, right?
Sharks.
No, they're joking
No, it
about
was
sharks.
like him or me. Like who?
And who do you think could fix anything? That's what they're talking about. Who would you go to if you need to fix a problem? Who could fix anything? And he's like, my dad. And he's like, no, I can fix anything. I'll fix any problem. And I think that's beautiful to the movie, obviously, with the themes of he can't fix that shit. But in the end, it's just them sitting down fishing again. No, I don't even think you hear them talk this time. But now he's just.
That's a good catch, Nate. I didn't even think about that.
I saw that right in the beginning. I was like, that's important. I was like, he said that for a reason. Like, that's going to shove. They're shoving that
That's
in
how
your
I knew
face.
it was I feel like that's how I knew the brother was the one that was like, you know, going like dead.
I agree with you, but I just felt like you weren't supposed to, because that's why they didn't bring up his disease before that. Because the dad was old even when you saw him at the very first couple scenes. So I think you were supposed to just be like, oh yeah, their dad probably died. And then they get in there and their brother's dead, you know? Like, but there was definitely hints of who it was, because the movie's good. It's a well set up movie.
It's a great movie. I do think as you were saying, Nate, kind of shit, I can't remember. I lost my train of thought for a second. But there's the scene at the end where he's fixing that guy's like heater or the pipes or whatever in the basement, and he tells the story about how his dad like kind of just went off to sea to die. And it kind of paralleled where Lee was at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Where he like went out, there was no Mayday signaled, no nothing. And he was just kind of waiting around to die. I think Lee is kind of like, maybe not taken aback, but he kind of recognizes that story was him, and he doesn't have to do that anymore.
That's why he gets mad there, doesn't he? And he kind of wants to leave after that. I forget exactly what he was talking about there.
Yeah, I can't remember his exact reaction.
Because that's in
but
is that the beginning or towards the end?
That's that's like the second to last scene.
Okay, yeah.
Because the guy recognizes his dad, I think.
He recognized the name, I think. And then he just, because you know how like small town, he's like, "Are you Joe's brother? Oh, then your dad is this guy." And then he goes off that. And I wanted, since we have been like dancing around it, I wanted to bring it back to this, like actually talk about Patty's character, who's a pretty interesting character throughout it all.
He got nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, really? That's cool. I didn't know. Like, I mean, he did a great job. Actually, it was absolutely for, I assume, a kid actor.
Lucas Hedges, who plays Patrick, and Michelle Williams all got nominated for Best Actress or Best Actor, Best Supporting, and Best Supporting Actress.
Dude, nothing for Matthew Broderick in his short appearance.
Wait, who was he?
He was the Patty's
his mom's
husband. Yeah, Jeffrey was his name.
No way.
No way. I was thinking the whole time, who is this? Like, I was like, I know this actor. That's fucking Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, I was like shocked at first. I was like, holy shit, Matthew Broderick.
What a funny character for him to play.
The fact that Patrick was in middle school though is pretty insane.
I thought he was high school. I thought he was like
he's
freshman.
16
in high school.
Yeah, sophomore. He was a sophomore.
Did they not pick him up from middle school? Like,
No,
he was
like sophomore.
No. He picked them up, and it was like the Manchester Middle School or whatever.
Oh, well, maybe
yeah,
he picked
'cause,
him up in the middle school. I don't know.
The junior high school.
Why is he in middle school?
Before they're saying
His girlfriend's in middle school.
That's what I'm saying. I was
Chris,
like, why
what
is he
happened there was in the conversation before, he's talking to the hockey coach, and they're like, wait, it's not at the high school? He says that. He says it's not at the high school. Like, what? He picked him up somewhere else.
I didn't even remember. I didn't even
Also,
remember that scene.
They also have a conversation where he's like, "You got to learn how to drive," and he's like, "I promised my dad."
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't."
Yeah, he's like, okay, yeah.
I think what's funny too is he could just be lying about that. Like, you don't even know. Like, he could have just made that up just so he didn't have to drive.
Well, yeah, who knows? Patrick was lying about a lot of stuff after his dad's death. You know, he was like he was telling Lee, you know, yeah, my dad used to let me have the girls over. Yeah, you would say.
You think that was a
in
lie?
bed with me?
I think you're supposed to think it could be. You know, like, I don't think you're supposed to know, but like, you're supposed to hear that and be like, what? But that's the thing, is he's so detached. He's like, okay. But then he realizes it later. He's like, no, she can't come over.
Dude,
you know, like.
Okay, so the one girlfriend, the brunette one.
Which one did he like?
Sylvia.
Which one didn't he like?
Brunette
He
one.
likes the blonde
Sylvia.
one, right?
He didn't like Sylvia.
Yeah, he likes the blonde one. He didn't like the brunette. But
Sandy.
there was a weird scene where the brunette one comes over and she spends the night, and then in the morning, she kicks Lee out of the breakfast. Like
That's why he doesn't like her.
Yeah, and I was like, that
literally.
scene happens, and I'm like, oh, that girl's kind of a bitch. And then I felt so vindicated when, like, halfway through the movie, he's like, I don't want her over here.
I would like to say I forgot
that she's
he was
getting
in the
cheated
scene
on.
before.
She's like trying to control the conversation with her and what Patrick's friends, you know, his two friends are there supporting him as well.
Yeah.
She's trying to support him her own way. They're just, you know, BSing about Star Trek. He's clearly like, you know, a chuckle comes out at the end. He's like, yeah, I like Star Trek. After
like,
she
I
like
like Star
kind of
Trek.
like flips out. She's like, I can't believe we're talking
love
about
Star
Star
Trek.
Trek.
Well, he's just like her mom, his mom. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Star Trek.
I was thinking.
Yeah, but she sucks.
That's why he didn't
Damn,
like her.
dude.
But what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, I wanted to say that I think something else that makes this movie so good is like Lee. Lee would be such a cool person in real life. Like, I would like him so much. You know, like
Are you sure?
I
Drinks
think one
and
of the
fights
redeeming
people.
Are you
factors.
sure about that?
He fight. I know a lot of people that fight people at bars.
What's
all
his
the time.
personality?
His personality.
He's funny. Hey, what are you talking about?
He's
Like,
funny. He's
cracks jokes.
hilarious. I wouldn't want to
He's
hang out
just
with him.
he's just a shut-in. Like, that's it. But like but that's because. What the fuck movie did you watch? Like, that's clear. The point of the movie.
No,
like,
I agree. He was rootable, but you know,
He had
he
sick
was-
ass parties too.
I wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
He is a
There were
fun,
some sick parts.
he is a fun and likable person. He's just fucking lost, you know. Like, he's just dealing with something that you could never really get over, you know. Like, and that
He
sucks.
did,
I mean, like, I know plenty of people who don't talk a lot, like who are quiet. Like,
That very beginning scene when he's doing all the repairs and like that lady keeps giving him shit and he goes, I don't give a fuck what you do. Like that.
I love that
right
guy.
there.
I would love
like,
that
right, this
guy.
guy's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Why would she say that dumb shit about, oh, you want to watch me in the shower?
I
That's
think she
clearly
just
not what he's
projected.
saying.
I think she wanted that to happen secretly.
It was the setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted it. You know, like
Was that the black lady that he was hitting on him, or was
no,
was that a different
No,
lady?
no, it was the
her
white
tenant,
lady.
whenever he's like going around fixing stuff.
Well, that was the same person, wasn't it?
all
Or
right,
was that
this
an
is a
older
different
lady?
person. Why was the
Yeah,
first
okay,
lady
okay.
talking about wanting to like fuck him in the room right next to him?
that was weird.
That was
Screaming it on the
Yeah.
right next to him. What?
Game, dude. She
I think
didn't
she
He does
I
have
think she
game,
wanted
yeah.
him here.
Well, I think it's the reason for that scene is it's important to know that he will shut that stuff down because he doesn't want to get attached to anybody. I think that's why they
Well,
show it.
I
The same
think it's
thing with the scene at the
important
bar.
that people try to come out, like try to attach to him, and he pushes it away. Like
Yeah.
throughout it, like if the whole time Patty is trying to like get him to talk to him or get him to help him out or anything, and he just won't. He just keeps shutting it down because he doesn't want to.
Dude, I did like the back and forth that Patty and Lee had the whole fucking movie, dude. That was the funniest part to me. Like when they're in the car and he goes, God damn, how long does it take to heat up? And he's like, relax, man. We just got in the car. He goes, maybe we can keep my fucking dad in here.
Yeah, I would like this. Dude. That's a funny dude right there.
I understand that he's a kid and he's grieving, but I would have been so frustrated if he kept bringing up the freezer thing. Like
Oh,
Yeah, well,
what?
he is
I
frustrated.
would have been losing my mind. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
It's because he saw his dad dead, and that's all he can think about is his like ice cold body.
No, I get it too, but I also would have been frustrated. I'm like, what? I can't do anything about it.
I actually
would have
really
been
like
I
it.
understand and I have sympathy for where he's coming from, but like, dude,
I'm not gonna sit here and say Lee handled it well. I'm not gonna sit there and say that at all. But I also would have been like, dude, like I would have just been cracking jokes like he was. Like, all right, you want me to go take him the fuck out the freezer? Like, I can't.
Yeah, but I
like,
don't think Patrick thought Lee could do anything about it. He was just like, you know.
I know
Just
that. I
wanted
know,
someone
and
to
that's
talk
what
to
I
about
said.
it, yeah.
He's just trying to bitch to him about it, and I get that. But I would also just be like, well, what the fuck you want me to do about it? Like,
Patrick
you know,
does start saying, he's
listen.
like, we can't get like a special shovel. We can't get one of these. We can't do. He
Oh, yeah,
keeps trying to
they-
solve
they-
that
all
problem.
right, Nick.
The
Wait,
heated
though,
shovel.
let me explain to you what I mean by that. Why I'm saying that, like, that's how I would answer to him. Because I want you to go up to that kid and be like, all right, Patty, why don't you talk to me about this? And and I'm going to specify that that's why the mother scene is important, because that's not how this kid communicates. Like, he would not do well in that situation. Like, and I think that's important that Lee could be really good for him had he been in a better situation himself. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's why it's good for him to go with the other family. But he's not. You know, he's just not in that place to do that. Because, like, that kid would have been like, shut the fuck up. Like, you know, if you tried talking to him like that. It's just not, he's not, you got to communicate with people the way they need to be communicated with, you know?
Do you think Lee would have taken him and kept him if the kid would have agreed to move?
I think he would have, but he wouldn't have worked well. And I think he realized that, you know, like, whether he took him or not, the kid would have hated it, probably.
Well, he's also just like, so stubborn, too. Because when he asks him at the end, like, about, coming to visit him, he's like, you know, you can maybe find a college in Boston. He's like, I'm not going to college. Just like very like just immediately. So he seems like pretty stubborn and like set on like what he wants to do. So
Yeah.
Nothing.
He's just like Lee.
Yeah.
I think. Oh,
Sucks.
you know what part I was gonna say is one of my favorite scenes is the part where the brother is like he's leaving, and this is how you're talking about people telling him not to kill himself, and that's one of the brothers like, you're gonna call me at this time. You don't call me, I'm calling the cops. You know what I mean? And he's like, all right, hold up, my son's coming. But Lee keeps trying to leave because he feels like the kid. I forget what he says, where he feels like the kid doesn't want to say goodbye to him because he just assumes that he hates him because of what happened. Because he just assumes that with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And then the kid comes running out excited to. I don't know why I'm saying the kid. Patty comes out excited trying to talk to him, and he just drives away. Once again, just shutting people out that were right there for him.
That's like a day after the fire.
Oh, I'm not saying he's
So
wrong.
I think
but
it's more that Lee just doesn't want to see any kids. That's probably more what it is, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big trigger for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Cool. I think you're hating too much. I really like that scene where he opens the freezer and he like doesn't realize what is going wrong or like what's wrong. He like has that panic attack.
Yeah.
I really like that scene.
No,
that
I
wasn't
think
really
that's a good scene. I just think
You were just
the
annoyed.
other scenes before that, like we're in the car and he's being a baby about it. Like, I understand that it's like a human thing, and it's good that it's in the movie. I'm just saying, if I was in Lee's position, I would be super pissed off and annoyed.
Especially when you're like, he's my brother too. And
I would be clearly upset and sad too. That's why I'm not a dad. So that's good.
Well, see, I think this is once again important in the movie is that you would also be upset as a dad, and that is in part of it too. Like, you can't sit there and think that you wouldn't also have problems trying to be a dad. Like, if you think you're going to be Mr. Perfect Dad, sorry to everyone in here, you're going to fuck it up. Like, that's going to happen. Absolutely. Like, your kid's going to be mad at you, or you're going to fuck. Hopefully, you don't burn them alive in a house fire. But fingers crossed. Fingers crossed on that one. on a cold winter's night.
Walk into the liquor store, the mini mart.
You walk to the mini mart. I like how he talks like this is such a rational thing to do. I'm like, I am not walking that far into cold for some milk, bro. For some milk, bro.
Yeah, 40
I don't
minutes.
think he got milk. I think he
minutes.
wanted some more beer too, though.
He was coked up. Remember, so that's why he did it.
But we're out of beer.
The Coke, I think, definitely gave you more motivated to get to the store, dude. I don't know. If people doing some crazy walks on some beer, dude, like it just motivates you to do some dumb shit.
This is another sign supporting Nate's theory that Lee's a cool guy to have around, because he noticed there's a problem. We're out of beer, and he immediately went to solve it. No questions asked.
Well, he solved two problems, dude. The kids are cold. Got to make sure the kids aren't cold. And I need beer. Let me solve both of these problems now.
I think that's another thing, too, to his character, why it's so hard for him, is because there is no way to fix it. And for him, it's like, if I can't fix it, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
In the beginning, at least, it's hard for him to accept that there is no fixing it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's a handyman,
and that happens in life. Yeah, and that's why he took up that job, obviously. I thought that was funny.
But he's not a plumber.
Except he does the plumbing.
Dude. He could do like anything.
He's funny. He's cool to hang out with, except for when he beats people up.
Dude, I was pissed when I learned out he made minimum wage plus the room. I was like, "What, dude?"
He doesn't care.
He was getting taken advantage of so much.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Exactly. He just. But I think the purpose is what's important. Like something for him to do. You know. Yeah. And I think it's funny that he still tries to help. Like he's doing something where he's helping people, because that's just who he is. He likes to fix things for people.
Yeah. Yeah, he clearly doesn't care, like, too, about... Because there's that line where he says, he's like, I do electrical work, even though it's against the law. Like, he kind of doesn't... Like, he does just want to have...
He helps people. He also just helps people out, yeah. Like, hooks them up. Like, that's part of the... Like, that's why it's sad. Like, because he is a good dude. And everyone thinks he's
in the right place.
Yeah. He's, like, trying to do good. Because that's the funny thing. Like, he's just like his brother, and everyone loves his brother. You know, except now, I mean, he's obviously not just like him.
That is a good point, too, because, like, he takes Patty literally everywhere he wants to go. Even though, like, there's always, like, some contention about it, they're always driving somewhere. And, like, that's, like, a recurring thing is them just, like, on the road.
I love how pissed he is about it, though, because I would also be pissed. I'd be like, can't your other fucking parents drive? Like, what the fuck? They got gas money, motherfucker? Like... I'm trying to think of
Ben did give him gas money. They said they did give him money, leave him money behind to take care of him.
Who did?
Ben.
Who's Ben?
Isn't that Ben's dad?
Joe.
There we go.
Super simple name. I get 3 letters.
That might be his real name in real life. No, that's Joe.
For sure.
That's Kyle. That's Kyle Chandler.
Nick, you're thinking of... This is what I'm going to bet. You're thinking of Ben Affleck, brother of Casey Affleck.
Oh, right. Yes.
Like, yeah.
Oh, my God. How could we have forgotten?
Which Affleck is a better actor?
Excuse me.
Casey, probably.
I think
it's close. I'd say this movie is what kind of keeps Casey above him. Like,
Ben
I don't
Affleck
think
was the fucking original Daredevil. His he gets
that kind of
points for that movie alone.
So the one thing I wanted to bring up was the importance of the boat and kind of how they start there in the beginning. First off, in spring, I want to bring off, happy warm times.
It does go over a long time.
Very long time. But there's just constant switches between spring and winter. The first starts in spring, which is, we got a jovial Lee and obviously alive. I don't want to mess up the name again. What was his name? Joe. We have an alive Joe, obviously, Patty. And a young Patty.
He's not dead later.
A young Patty just, BSing with each other, having a good old time. And then we get the abrupt cut to now. where Lee is just, kind of like going through the motions, fixing stuff for people, clearly just like empty eyes, just like you can tell his mind is not there. And we keep getting these abrupt cuts from spring to winter, which is present. Winter is pretty much always present in the movie, from what I noticed. And
it takes place during the present time in the movie. Like I think it's like the 3 months of winter from because when does he die?
It is never warm in this movie. It's cold.
Yeah, season.
He's always chilly. So
you got ice out at all times.
All he ever got is that one coat on though. Like he doesn't adjust to the cold at all.
It's probably like January because high school hockey
ends in January. So his brother dies in either November or December, and then it ends in about January, February time. So there's a couple months that happen in this movie, and this movie's pretty short.
The burial was prolonged, right? For some reason,
so they had a funeral, but they couldn't bury him.
Yeah,
they didn't have a funeral.
The ground literally too cold.
The ground was frozen.
Yeah,
the ground was frozen. Yeah.
So it's probably
unless you have a machine, which they can't get where they're at. The problem.
The heated shovel.
Yeah,
is that a real thing?
Electric shovel.
I mean, I assume
probably, but
you mean the heated shovel, or
I kind of doubt the heated shovel.
I know
they really dig that shit with shovels. Do they still dig actual graves with shovels? Like I feel like that's just not what they do anymore. Though they probably get like
small.
It probably depends.
Like an
excavator.
I was gonna say
a historic site, so they probably.
Oh yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Although that would be fucked up to just drive like a bobcat over everybody's.
I don't know.
Well, that's why they have roads. like they don't sit on top of each other.
I think even for if you are burying just like ashes, like an urn, I think they still do take out like a backhoe.
Yeah, that's what would make sense to me is to bring out a backhoe and just scoop that shit out.
I do like Nick. You brought up with kind of like the juxtaposition of all the scenes and how John was saying the abrupt cuts.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to say this earlier before Nate started going. In my mind, the abrupt cuts, because like this movie is from Lee's point of view, quite obviously. And so, like, what do you think's going on in his brain when he's in the present? We're getting these abrupt cuts because that's all he's thinking about this entire time. He can't escape it. There's no running away from it. That felt like the main core of the movie to me. That like there's no way for him to run from this. And kind of like I think Nate said this earlier, he has to live, learn how to live with it and accept it, even though like it's never gonna go away.
I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I could do that. I can promise you that Lee's tougher than me, man. I might have been. You might have seen me. You might have seen me floating down Manchester.
Could you
Sea,
imagine burning down your house and like your kids end up like it's unimaginable.
I couldn't imagine. I could never, and I would never wish it. Well, I would never want that to happen to me. So
he got lucked out by the police Glock that has like the extra safeties they put in so they don't shoot people.
He would probably have been shot in this movie if they didn't know him. Like, he killed his family, bang bang. They just put him down. So talking about the sound design, I'm surprised John didn't bring this up. I wanted to say it. Like, there's a lot of scenes that start, especially in the morning. Like you were talking about the breakfast scene, where the audio is intentionally bumped on little things. So this is kind of weird, where dialogue is muted down a little bit. It's a little bit of sound design, and then the background stuff, such as like forks and plates, and it really does well of explaining why he's so annoyed, because like he is so trapped in his own head, like he's kind of in his own little world, where like he's gotten this routine. It's kind of the only thing keeping him alive is just being on his own, where like he's not even really living, he's just surviving. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a big part of this movie, is breaking that cycle. But I think a good way of explaining or showing that in this movie was like, so he sits down at that breakfast and she grabs that plate and he just starts getting annoyed because all you hear is clink, clang, 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 cling, clang, clang. And you're like, yeah, I was with him, like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm trying to drink my coffee and make these goddamn phone calls, So he's not used to having other people in his life anymore, So it's hard for it explains a little bit of the difficulty to open up at that point, I would be adverse to it too. When it's the only way to live anymore is, like it would be hard to invite anyone else in after that.
Well,
and I think it's part of why he didn't like the girl.
Real quick, just what we were going on before, kind of how the odd cuts and how all the flashbacks. I think the movie did a good job of using those abrupt cuts and to kind of spurt in like little scenes here and there. Like, I think that's how people have flashbacks in real life. Like, you see something that reminds you, and then all of a sudden you're back into the scene. Like, you're back into the present because you got distracted again.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of the reason for the abrupt cuts. And I didn't really think about that until you brought it up, John.
Yeah.
Like, that it might be abrupt because you kind of daydream for a second, and then you're like, oh, shit, I got to wash the dishes. Like,
but same thing. I think they really showed the most on the spaghetti scene. Which that is a weird scene for me. I always thought I get it's the dream scene, but like nothing else in the movie's like that. And then he has this not a fantasy sequence, but like a nightmare sequence about his kids dying. It is just a little weird from the rest of the movie to me because you don't see anything else like that. I'm not saying it's a bad scene. It does stand out a lot.
Yeah, I understand because like everything else, like it is so like.
It's just a weird filmmaking choice to me. I'm surprised they did that.
Just the abrupt part?
I don't think it's bad. No. I just mean the random nightmare because they don't do anything else like that throughout it. And then I feel like it's just that was the only way they could think of it. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I just think
agree.
That's what they thought.
Because I kind of even chuckled when the kid showed up on the couch. I was like, really? Like,
I think like him seeing his ex-wife like brought back all of those like.
Oh, was that?
I agree. I agree. It was 100%. I agree 100%. I just thought it was weird because that's not how they displayed that in any other scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this movie. So it's funny, Nick. So you talking about how this movie is very much from perspective. It is, but this movie is very clearly made as a person watching his perspective. Like, does that make sense? Like, it's you following him, so you only know the information as he has, and you're made to draw conclusions off of that. But you still don't know what's going on in his head. Does that make sense? I don't know the words to explain this. Like, so there's not like a narration, but you're still seeing his point of view.
It's a third-person view of his.
Yeah, but I don't know what to call that when. So you add like a narrator, it changes the whole movie. Like, imagine if you actually heard what he's thinking, and.
Probably nothing most of the time.
Oh yeah, but
I wish I didn't burn my kids alive.
Well, yeah, but when it comes to PTSD, he's the way he is, and so he's not present in conversations. That's why he's so like monotone and just kind of like going with the motions because he's constantly reliving those fragmented memories. His mind while he's just going through his everyday life.
His thoughts are either like, oh, so what? It's gonna take like 10 miles longer to get to the funeral, or God, I wish I didn't burn my children alive.
I knew it was coming. It was still funny when he said it. But yeah, no, Nick, I agree with you. I kind of got a little sidetracked there, but my point was that's just why that one scene where you get that perspective in his head just feels a little weird to me. You know what I mean? Because you don't... Throughout the rest of it, you're just supposed to feel it without seeing it, which I feel like is such a cool perspective.
Yeah.
And then on this one scene, they do that. And I'm not saying it's bad. I just think it was weird.
I get what you're saying. It is weird, but people with PTSD, that's what happens to them. Whoever just brought it up, he had just talked to his wife, and that probably re-triggered everything. So, like, it's coming back full force to him now because of that.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Kind of hit it on the head where the movie is like a third person view, and then that scene is a very first person experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
that's why I said it was weird.
Disjointed a little bit.
Like, just the consistency. I don't think, like I said, whatever. You don't have to do everything 100% the same way. Maybe it makes it better. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. Like, I'm sure that this is just going into film. I'm sure they went through that 100 times trying to come up with how not to do that. And that was just the best way they could think to convey that. You know what I mean? Like, they were trying to give you...
I don't think it makes the movie any worse. It's just
I don't think so either. Yeah.
It's just a bit oddly placed. It's a little awkward.
It is odd. I'm not going to say this will add it all up, but I'm going to say, like, the third person point of view makes more sense because in people with PTSD a lot of the time, you're not really, like, reliving your memories firsthand. You're often reliving them from, like, a third person type of view, like a
bystander's perspective.
Yeah, like a bystander's view where you're kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say you're not there, but like you're not living it from your same first person perspective. You're kind of just like taking it all in.
I was gonna say that actually it's more like you kind of live in a third person now. Does that make sense? Like you're so caught in what was, and you live on kind of a routine, and that's kind of what he does. Like throughout the movie, he lives off of that routine. Mm-hmm. And that's why it sucks so much for him to get shattered. You know, that's why it's so hard for him to adapt, because like he doesn't
want to get out of that
so much. Yeah. And I mean, that's life though. Life is change, you know, and that's hard. He doesn't want to live though. So that's where he's trying to fight that.
He's just there, you know?
Yeah, he's just existing at this point. He says that straight up. But I think that's what's also important about that scene, because he never admits that in any other part. And when he finally says it, I think that's where he really starts to improve as like I guess like as a person makes sense. Like he could start making those changes. Like by admitting that this is never going to leave and that he is just going to have to deal with this, he can start dealing with it, you know? Because like I think there's this very interesting quote. I don't remember who said it. I do believe it's like a psychiatrist, because it's like if you block out the dark, then you block out the light. They go it's hand in hand. Like the good and the bad go together no matter what. If you try to just ignore the bad, then there won't be any good. You know, because in reality it's all perspective. It's all the same thing. It just sucks for you, you know? Like that's how it ends up being, you know? It's a very complicated thing to understand. You know, like someone else, like if you don't deal with the bad parts, then it's not going to get any better.
I wanted to bring up how like realistic this is part of like the dark comedy, how I kind of mentioned that at the beginning. It's like almost that like some of the scenes that are supposed to be like in any other movie would be really, really like played for dramatic effect. Like when his wife is getting like wheeled into the ambulance, it takes him like 20 minutes to like get the thing to collapse right. How like awkward it is, and like
and you know what else is heartbreaking? He keeps trying to touch her, and like she just keeps swatting him away because
he like doesn't know he doesn't know what to do with his hands. He's just kind of
that. And when they're at the reception, or not the reception, but you know, like after the funeral.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Did you get something to eat? I'll get you something to eat." He goes, No, I don't want anything. And she's like, "What did you say?" He goes, "Patrick didn't eat yet, but he doesn't want anything." She goes, "Patrick didn't eat? I'll get him something to eat." And he goes, "No, he doesn't want any." And he's just like sitting there. And I was like, that's so like realistic to how like these services are never like fully like dramatic like they are in movies. There's always this weird like awkward bullshit you have to deal with.
It's funny too, because he clearly wants to be upset, but he also has to know they're trying to like look out for him, so he's like
which is why
like mad as fuck.
Those moments like all like felt like so natural, and like
there's a lot of those.
And I appreciated the fact that like, you know, that they're played just so straight, especially like not having any music.
Makes it so relatable.
At times, whenever there was music, it kind of took me out a little bit. During like the scene, you know, like when the house burns down, I kind of felt like the music was a little intrusive at times, like a little like not cheesy, but like, you know, I feel like it could have maybe done better without it being there. That might have been me.
I thought they used the music for throughout the movie, at least, because they use it in a lot of scenes, like when he's doing a lot of chores and shit, and he's just like he's walking around just kind of doing things. I feel like it's supposed to fill in the gap of when he's like his brain is shut off, you know, like he's just kind of, which why he likes just being able to do chores for people and stuff. So, which the music, that's why I think the music is pretty simple, and like because it's usually it's like either just like shots of the city or him just doing chores or something or working around the house, and until it's interrupted, like the scene when he breaks the glass and stuff. Because if I remember correctly, that's what happens there. Is he's kind of just like walking around and doing shit, and then he punches the glass and it breaks the scene, it breaks the tension. I guess kind of raises it. I don't know.
It is interesting. I know we talked about it before, but just how much the way he copes with stuff is by like getting tasks done. Like right when he learns his brother's dead, he goes,
"How do I do
what
this?
Are the next steps? Where are his things? What do I have to sign? Where do we need to go?
Will somebody call my wife?" that was such a funny line.
So someone should call her. He's like, "Why don't you?" I'm not calling her. Someone should call. It's his wife, his brother's ex-wife. He's like, someone should call her. He's like, "Why don't you?" I'm not calling her. You know? I don't want to talk to her. She calls him. He hangs up. That seems so. If I would do the same thing.
Yeah, like
dude, what does Patrick say to him on the way back from his mom's? It was a really I really like that scene. It's very wholesome. Like what he says. Oh, he says like, "How did it go?" And he goes, "Man, you'll do anything to get rid of me, won't you?" Like, he wants him to take him back.
I think also, I think also that seems was sad for me because I feel so bad for Patrick because I think he did think like that was a good another option for him, but then he goes there and realizes that they just don't get along at all, and that's really because the funny thing is you think the mom's a piece of shit now, still from how because she literally was, but still from how Lee talks about her, but it's really just they're not.
No, she's like people. Controlling. She's way too she's like. Oh, you can say amen or whatever the fuck she was trying to say. It's like just let it be. Like just let it conversation
interpret.
But but I think it's a little much to sit here and say she tried to make him say amen and be like, yeah, she's a controlling freak. You don't see that much, and I think that's intentional. You don't see that much of it. You just see that they are not.
They clearly don't get along.
Clearly don't get along, and that's intentional. I think that's a good thing. I think if you just made her a villain, I'd have been like corny. I mean, like that's so easy to do, and she's clear. Like I wouldn't like her either. But some people are like that, like super Christian, and especially
I know people addicts.
She overcorrected so much from who she was that it made her like an alien to her own son.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's also important that she is very nervous in this too, just like he is. But like, so they're seeing the worst of her. You're not the worst, but you're seeing her in like not her best situation. And
she was the one who backed out from him because she had her husband Matthew Broderick email him,
reach out.
Yeah.
Well,
he was also super awkward.
He was so weird. He's such a weird guy.
I feel like he did that without. I feel like he did that without asking her. I think
I wasn't sure.
You could interpret that like maybe maybe he's the one that's like kind of pushed her towards being that way. You could see it that way, maybe.
Yeah, because she kind of had a little panic attack in the kitchen, and I feel like he was talking to the son and saying, "Hey, she's not ready. Please don't contact her. Talk to me instead."
Yeah, which is so weird.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, which is but.
There's a lot of ways
that's his wife.
Once again, I feel like I feel like once again though that's why it doesn't answer it. Even just like going to the end, how it just cuts off. Which the ending I do really like. Though I do wish they just like would have at least got to the part where he moved out or something. I don't know why I just wanted to like see to there. I was like, damn, like 5 more minutes I think would have been perfect, and then ended it the same way. Just because I don't know, it just when it ended, I was like, oh, well, I think they go on living where he maybe makes some progress, maybe he doesn't, but he at least keeps his relationship with Patrick. I feel like at least that's what implies. I think he at least keeps that strained relationship of hanging out every once in a while, going fishing, and I think that's all Patrick needed.
Their friend George is such a good guy.
I know, what a great guy.
He's being such a good friend, and he's getting nothing in returon from Lee because Lee is.
Dude, I thought he was a brother. I thought he was his uncle. Like that's how good of a friend he is.
Well, he is virtually Joe's brother. But I even like where he's like, we have 4 kids, but I could take them.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm kind of excited. Our kids are moving out, but I guess we can take them.
It is also like 2 years, at worst. So it's not like the worst situation they would have to watch them for. But still, I mean, fuck, that's a lot to ask of anybody.
The film does do a good job of explaining. Like Patrick does kind of have, for being in high school, he kind of has like his life together. Like he's got really good friends. He's like, I guess, good at hockey. Like he's got like shit going for him.
He's in a band.
He's not like.
I think that's
he's
one
in a band.
thing.
He's in a shitty band.
No, his
Wait,
band.
what was the point of them
that band
on
rules.
the drummer? Why did they keep talking shit on the drummer?
To be funny, because it was funny.
He's teenagers.
It was funny, dude. I feel bad for him.
Good. Nah, fuck that drummer, dude. Speed it up.
I just realized there was no like end of that story.
No, he was going too fast at the end, though. He was going too fast.
I do think I think the importance is the parallel. I guess parallel is the right word, but they're so different in their lives right now. But funnily so similar before it. Lee and Patty. Like Lee used to be just like Patty. And now Lee is the exact opposite. Like won't talk to anybody, has no relationships, doesn't really want to go anywhere. Where Patty seems to know exactly what he wants. He's got 2 fucking girlfriends. He's killing it. But that's what's so interesting.
Is he killing it, or is he making up for his dysfunctional family life?
Yeah, I mean, he clearly is fighting people at hockey practice. Like his coach clearly doesn't really like him.
He's manipulating 2 different chicks.
2 chicks. They're both kind of, they don't seem like they're the greatest, I guess.
I got through this
That one girl was
movie.
cool.
I got throughout this whole movie that Patty hates his life. That's the opposite. The whole time Patty wanted to keep his life. That was the whole point.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
what? Patty the
But
whole
that
time
doesn't
fought
mean-
for that life. Let me explain where I was going with this. But the point was, Patty, all he needed was another like kind of friend, father figure type. He didn't need Lee to really be a dad for him, which is like they both kind of accept that at the end. Like he will do fine with that, and they could still keep a relationship. He just can't be his dad, you know. Like that's fine. He just
I think it's one thing for a
to be there
16-year-old
for
to
him.
think that they don't need a dad, but it's another for them to actually not like need a dad. At that
I
point, you know?
didn't say he didn't need a dad. He didn't need him
there's
as
a
his dad.
conversation. There's a conversation that he has on the phone with Lee's wife. Lee's ex-wife is talking to him on the phone about going to the funeral, and she asks about Patty, and Lee says to his wife that he's got like a really good support system with his friends. He's got like a lot going on. So I don't know.
But he always used the words I think, because you don't know what's going on in his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally like fucking like had a panic attack over some like frozen chicken. So I don't know if it's necessarily going that great.
His dad,
That's how panic attacks come on out of the
just,
blue, though.
his dad just fucking died.
That was the
Like,
breaking point.
For sure.
Like, what movie are you guys watching? Like, his dad just fucking died. It's normal to have a panic attack.
Yeah,
Like,
I know, but to say his life is, I don't know.
But that
To say he has it all figured out, I don't think is.
I didn't say he had it all figured out. I said he was. Well, I might have said it, but I said he's doing well. Like he's not in the same situation that Lee is in. He's not. Are you fucking saying they are?
Yeah.
No, he just needed a better, like someone to be there for him, and that's fine. And Lee couldn't be his dad. He can go stay with them, and that's fine. He doesn't have to be, but they could still have this relationship and progress as people, you know, because they have experiences that no one else will ever have. Like they were with his dad and stuff like that, and they could fish together and enjoy life. He doesn't have to be his father to do that, you know, and that's where I think the ending is, you know, is that they can move forward with a different situation because they're not going to go back to the way they were before. It's not possible. You can't go back to that. It would never happen.
Yeah, I don't think Patty would. He doesn't seem like the person who would want somebody to take the place of his father. Like, I think
That's not what he
his
needed.
dad.
I don't think that's what he needed. I think he obviously still needed a father figure or someone to take care of him. He's a 16-year-old.
But he needs some advice on this like 2-girl thing. Like that's kind of wild.
He needs another
You gotta
girl.
fix that shit.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I was gonna say. I was so ready to be. I was so ready to be like, yeah, he needs like 3 more, dude. What are you talking about?
I mean, you know what?
He's
Realistically,
16. Let him do
I
it.
think like the thing is we're putting like the response, like the thought process of an adult on this 16-year-old. You know, like
honestly, kind of the way I see it, I think he just wants his uncle back. You know.
yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess, but I think even then they're not obviously going to get that exact same relationship.
Yeah, like I don't think like there needs to be some kind of like complete shift in role.
But the wall is starting to crack.
Yeah.
You know, like he can form some kind of relationship.
He wants, what that guy back, that Lee, you know, before
He loved his uncle. I think
Yeah,
that's one
they
of the
loved
biggest
each
things,
other.
like that scene I talked about. And throughout the movie, he's trying to just get his uncle back, like someone to hang out with and be cool with and like shit. 'Cause,
Him
like
and
his dad has to be his dad. His uncle can be his uncle. You know, have more fun. You know.
Lee and Patty are similar in that way, where they're both kind of resistant to change, even though things have clearly
True.
changed. Like there's no.
Well, like I
going
said,
back.
they're parallels. They're literally like the same
Yeah.
person, but just
Yeah.
different scenarios.
Yeah, their
Where-
chemistry is really good in this movie.
I think something that's important too is that Lee also had a support system. He obviously just had a far worse situation he went through, but also had he been able to open up to the people around him, it might have went a little better for him, you know. But
Well, of
like
course,
he
yeah,
ran
I mean,
off,
that's-
moved out, and ran away. And I'm not saying like, oh, that was the wrong thing to do, but I am saying that's what created that distance for him
Well,
from the
that's-
people he's around.
that's what happens is that
and that's
you-
what Joe is trying to break down.
you
We'll
build
isolate.
you build that wall around yourself and you shut out you become like willfully like unaware of the fact that you are loved. There are people that do care about you and want you to get better. It's just you have to let that happen.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
that's not easy, or
Oh, yeah.
even,
I mean,
like,
that's incredibly
it's
hard.
incredibly hard for everybody. So you're not wrong for feeling that way, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong for being upset. Like, look at what happened. Like, you have every right to be fucking upset. It's just you have to let people in at some point, and obviously throughout this movie, it was very like that's. I think it portrays that is not an easy fucking thing at all. Like I think if there's one thing you're gonna get from this movie is that opening up can be really fucking hard. You know, especially more severe the situation is. Because like your dad dying, that fucking sucks. Imagine killing your family. Like that really fucking sucks. How are you gonna talk that? Who's gonna relate to you on that, dude? Nobody. Oh, everyone's dad dies at some point.
I read a review about this movie before, like I don't know, last week when we were gonna record, and I think that the if I can find it, I'll link it or something. But the guy basically said if this is one of the rare movies that I wish was half an hour longer. And I kind of feel that way too, because this movie might be the best acted movie we've reviewed. Like I really think the acting was like completely stellar by everybody in this entire film. And the characters,
some of his friends were kind of iffy, I feel.
Which friends?
They acted like teenagers.
Patty's friends, yeah, Patty's friends. Yeah, they
were probably actual teenagers. You know,
but the main characters were really good. I agree.
I thought they were all. I thought everybody was good.
I mean, I didn't really notice.
I thought everything was pretty good, and I thought the characters were really well written and written very realistically. Not much in this movie felt out of place, and I don't know, dude. Normally, I like to watch movies a couple times before, but I think I might give this movie a 10. It's either a 9 or a 10.
Whoa.
Normally, I think I'd like to watch movies a couple times before throwing that out there, but.
A Sam 10.
I don't know, man. This movie's pretty fucking good.
Have you given it a 10 before,
it all
Sam?
out there like that.
I've given 2 other ones. I gave Moneyball one, and I gave Everything Everywhere All at Once one. But I think
Everywhere All at Once a hard one not to give a 10.
Yeah. I loved this movie.
All right.
As bitter as it is, or sad as it is.
Like I was saying, this is one of the realest like feeling movies that I've ever seen in my life. It's one of those movies that makes you self-reflect on your own situation and kind of like your own like personal relationships. Like it really makes you think. And I would say like as a whole, I loved it. I don't really have much negative to say, and so I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Let's go.
Chris. I think this movie is perfect. It is a 8 out of 10. No, I'll go next. I didn't want to go right after Sam because I'm just gonna drop the 10 right off the bat, dude. Like I'm pretty lenient with my 10s. Like if I don't,
yeah, Nate is very liberal.
Shut the fuck up, Chris. Like I hate the fucking like it's not a 10. Like I just can't give out a 10. Dude,
a 10 has to feel like
my whole rating is gonna be the fact that like Chris is like, well, I just can't give out a 10. My 10s are so important. Like
10 has to change your life. What if a movie changes your life? Are you gonna give that a 10?
This movie doesn't change your life, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this movie is good. Like, I mean, what are you gonna say? Like, this is such. I think it is very important for a movie, especially when it makes you feel an experience that is. Most people don't fucking experience that, and it really puts you in the shoes of like. Obviously, just like an irreversible tragedy, you know, which happens to everybody typically at some point in their life, whether it's the death of your parents, which everyone's parents will die at some point. Someone in your family will die at some point, and learning to accept that and live with it, and how it is a permanent battle, I guess. Like there is no point where you will just have that back in your life. There is no going back to the days where, everything is exactly the same, you know, like change is permanent, you know, like it is something we have to accept throughout our lives, whether it's killing your family or, you know, your pizza was burnt this morning or today and you're pissed. Yeah, man, unintentionally killing your family. Or I like saying murder though because it's a movie and it's not a real person, you know. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for me easily.
All right, John, from Daredevil to Batman versus Superman.
What, dude? Like,
this is about Casey Affleck's brother.
The scale of Ben Affleck.
There is way better Ben Affleck movies than Batman v Superman, dude.
Considering I've never even seen Daredevil before, and and
Lucky you.
Batman versus Superman is certainly a movie. I don't know. I might have to like. I think I might reject the scale on this one.
Dude, honestly, looking over it, Ben Affleck has pretty
Some
much
good
just
movies.
shitty movies.
Dude, take
what?
that back right now. Argo is good.
Argo is an Oscar winner as well.
Where's Argo at? It's not even
there-
fucking here.
He was in Armageddon, which is still kind of a campy movie, but very good.
The Accountant isn't bad either.
Ben Affleck was in Gone Girl, right?
Oh yeah, he wasn't
Yeah,
Gone.
okay,
Dude,
I'll give him the Gone Girl. Yeah, Gone Girl out of 10.
Gone
No,
Girl on it.
Yeah, no, this was a like.
For people that haven't seen that, they're like, "Is that good? Is that bad?"
Yeah,
Well,
no.
John will explain. Use context clues.
Yeah, no. I always really like these.
What
like,
did you think of this movie?
I always like these really sort of like reserved, kind of very, very like minimal, down to earth kind of stories. So, and I think aside from some like like artistic choices here and there that I didn't kind of gel with, I really, really liked like how this movie plays out. I didn't really get to talk about it enough. Like I like joked about it, but like Casey Affleck's performance was like so like deliberate in the way that like his I joked about his like delivery of his lines, but like that's very deliberate. Like this like I don't even know how to describe it, but like how how detached he is from like everything.
He sits like this in every scene.
Yeah.
And he like
I
talks
know,
like up to. He's like a whimpered dog, dude. He like looks up to people. He's phenomenal. I wish we did talk about that more,
Yeah.
John, but you brought it up.
I mean, we did just say how good he is. We just didn't talk about what he did exactly. Like even the conversation with White the whole time, he's like, "Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry." Like he's clearly like trying to
He
create
won't look her in the
distance.
eye.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh no, you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that." But like, he's clearly like, I love that when someone's like,
about to.
"Oh yeah," and then like they're trying to leave, but they won't let them.
Well, because
But that is kind of the dark humor in like the saddest fucking scene in the movie. Is like he's sitting there like, "No, I'm not." And then she's like, "No, you have to hear this. You have to hear this." He's like, "I don't want to fucking hear this right now." Like he does that throughout the whole movie, though. You know, just
even
keeps
in
saying that.
even in the earlier scenes, he like looked like someone that was trying to like suppress his emotions and not like actually feel whatever was going on. Like,
Yeah,
he
he
really
doesn't-
did a good job.
He doesn't.
You
Just
could watch this
like,
movie with
cry
the sound
about
off and know exactly what he was doing.
shit. Yeah,
Hmm.
that is true. That's crazy to think about.
Anyway, sorry to derail that.
yeah, no, yeah, I thought this movie was very good, very, very good.
I thought it was funny. I was re-looking through my notes, and the note I have at the end of the movie, I just put, "I feel empty."
Can you put
that's
that?
why I
Can you
think-
put that on the screen? Can you like hold that up to the camera?
Well,
That's gonna be the thumbnail,
it's
dude.
pretty
Oh.
easy. Yeah.
Send it to him. Screenshot it. And send it to him.
Yeah, I'll send you a screenshot. But yeah, this was just a really unique, really human experience watching this movie. I don't have a lot to say. I feel like I don't think I'm going to give it a rating because I don't think it would be fair. But
You're joining
all I
my
would say
side.
is-
Cole off the scale.
Welcome,
dude.
welcome,
Yeah.
welcome to the
What are
light
you
side,
doing?
Cole. Welcome.
What the fuck are you doing?
This-
Ripping our structure
This movie
in two,
beat
dude.
Cole, dude.
I'm gonna take John's perspective. I feel like this movie is unquantifiable, but I will say anything under a 7 is disrespectful. So don't choke me. But yeah, it was a very unique and cool experience. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I feel like it was a one-time thing, and I'm glad I saw it.
That's crazy. See, I think I'd watch it again.
I think
really
everybody
liked
should
it.
probably see it once, just because it's that interesting
Good
and
movie.
unique. But yeah,
All right.
Take us
my
home,
number
Nick.
is a question mark.
Take
Is that the
some,
second time that we've done that though? That someone else did the no rating scale because
We
Captain
did. Everybody
Alex,
did
I
that
know
on
we did.
airplane mode because it was
no, on airplane mode everyone said
movie.
1, and then Captain Alex, it just wasn't that kind of movie to really rate. I think we did that.
If I'm speaking from a technical standpoint, I loved the way the movie was shot. The opening scenes were beautiful, rolling shots of the sea. I loved the choices of the abruptness. I felt like that accurately simulated what the mind of a person with PTSD goes through and what it feels like. Speaking to the story itself, it was a very uncomfortable watch for me, but that speaks more to how realistic and relatable the movie was. And I also found it very heartwarming to be able to watch Lee and Patrick both slowly bond again, but not slowly bond. I say because it's a realistic slow bond, and help each other cope with loss, and the loss of one's brother and one's dad. And what else I would say is that this movie was just, like I said before, pure pain. In that I don't think I'll ever watch it again. But like I said, that only speaks to how relatable it was, realistic it was, and I'd have to give it, I'd say, a 9 out of 10.
This is a Sova Dart lineup for Backside Breeze, in case any of you viewers.
I see it now.
It's one charge. You just bounce it off the left side of the lighthouse, and it'll perfectly recon the backside of B for you.
If you're looking to get the Crimson, that's what you need to do.
Oh?
No way, dude.
God, let's go.
Way, dude. Oh.
Nick's got it.
Dude.
Let's go.
Too easy. Too easy.
Okay, so
Sam can never get.
Hell yeah.
I've been pitter-pattering back and forth on what movie I want to pick next. I have way too many in my list, but after a watch like this, I feel like we could use
some upbeat,
a little more lighthearted, and I think we could use some more anime, personally.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm going to go with one of my favorite racing action anime of all time.
Oh, yeah, it's a cool one.
With a legitimately earth-shattering soundtrack called Redline.
Oh.
John, have you ever watched it?
I have.
It's a pretty cool movie.
Fucking rules.
Never heard of it.
It's a bit of a scary, like, I don't
mean
think
that in
it's
a bad
super,
way. I just haven't.
I don't think it's super big here.
It was in 2011, I believe it came out, like mid 2010s. I'd like
Very
to say.
interesting backstory behind it.
But yeah, I'm really excited to have you guys watch this one and see what you think about it, or
Can't
even
wait,
just
dude.
hear what John and Nate have to say about it, since they've also have seen this one before.
What I say doesn't matter at all. Don't listen to me.
This is one of the movies I have on DVD, so I'm incredibly excited to watch it because I watch this at least 2 or 3 times a year. So I don't know, I'm excited for this.
You should rip it and upload it to the internet for everyone to watch.
Illegally.
We would never.
Illegally.
We would never.
Filmfriendsfree.com. Check it out. .org. Check it out.
After you do that, buy the merch.
Yeah, go to the merch. Yeah. It's actually a link to our merch site.
Yeah, the merch site is like all the merch, and then just
It's Nick's DVD.
a rip of this movie.